Grief, we must understand, it is on many different levels. Somebody close to them died somewhere, they will feel this because within the body there is a certain process. Because what you call as a parent is the basis of this body. There is a very deep memory connection between the two. That simply means somebody who was available to you is now absent, that's all. It is not because one life vanished, you're crying about it. It is just that somebody who was, filling a part of the collage for you is absent, so it leaves a hole in your life. Depending upon how close they were, accordingly it leaves that big a hole in your life. So, what you're battling with is not the death of a person, what you're battling with is the size of the hole they have left in your life. Suppose a faraway relative or a friend, somebody that you know, an acquaintance died, you feel bad for an hour and then you get back to normal. But somebody very close and dear to you passed away, now they've left a huge hole. So your problem is you trying to tend to this hole, which is within yourself. This hole has happened essentially. Now what I say may sound little brutal for people who are in that situation, but one must understand this. If you look for solace, yes, if somebody comes to me who have just lost somebody dear to them, I will also hug them and, protect them and give them some solace. But you must decide whether you want solace or you want a solution to your life. Because today this person will die, tomorrow that person will die, day after tomorrow I may die myself, it doesn't matter. But people keep dying because we are dying kind of people. Let's understand this, all of us, we are dying kind of people. First thing that must be fixed in our mind, we are mortal by nature. So having said that, grief, we must understand, it is on many different levels. There is a psychological grief. In thought and emotion you suffer the loss of the person. But depending upon how much memory you have built within your body with regard to that person, let's say if it's your child or your husband or your wife or some kind of very close bond, then a certain amount of memory is there in your body. We call this traditionally in the yogic culture as runanubandha, that is, body has developed a bond beyond your psychological friendships and companionships and love and whatever else you have. Body itself has done this. A whole lot of people feel this. Somebody close to them died somewhere, they have not received any information. Suddenly they feel their energies are gone and they're like… They don't know what's happened, but suddenly they're almost sick, they're feeling like that, completely drained out. Then after a few hours or few days, information comes that this person is dead. But well before the information came, they will feel this because within the body there is a certain process that the memory starts undoing itself and you feel like you're dumped. Your runanubandha with your parents or with your children is strongest till you're 21 years of age. Once you cross 21 years of age, it is called as the first quarter. In the yogic way of looking at it, 84 is the cycle of life. The first quarter is 21. Up to 21, if you lose a parent or if you lose a child below 21 years of age, the pain will not just be emotional, it'll be physical. It will manifest in the body because there is a strong runanubandha. But beyond 21, it is largely psychological and emotional. When we say runanubandha, what you suffer emotionally or psychologically, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about physical memories. Bodies have memories. Because what you call as a parent is the basis of this body. There is a very deep memory connection between the two that is at its strongest till 21 years of age. Once you pass that, it is weakened. Is it gone? Not totally gone, weakened. Let us say you're 42 years of age and you're a man, then you still have a reasonably painful runanubandha. But let us say you're 42 years of age and you're a woman. Your runanubandha is almost negligible. Not that it's not there, it's there, but very, very low. So, the suffering that you go through is largely emotional and psychological. If you're psychologically very stable, emotionally balanced, you will see you will handle it quite effortlessly because there is no physical turmoil going on in the system. But the same thing, if they lose their husband, that runanubandha is physically painful because that is a different type of runanubandha. A child below 7.5 years of age doesn't have much runanubandha. The mother and father may have enormous runanubandha, but on the other side, there is not much runanubandha. This is not just for psychological reasons. A child below 7.5 years of age doesn't suffer much, doesn't go through the turmoil physically. May suffer because of not being taken care of and, those kind of situations if they are there. I don't want to go into the detailed mechanics of what it is, but if you are over 42 years of age and you are a woman and you lost a parent, this is why in this culture, women are not required to do karmas. Karma is done for the dead, not so much for you. But if you're below 21 years of age, it's very, very important you do it because it's both for the dead and for you. It's very important for you because the person who died, whatever happens, happens. But your life can be in a constant turmoil because there is a physical memory which torments you at a different level. Even if you're mentally stable, emotionally very balanced, still there is a certain torment going within you. For this, there are yogic processes with which you can rejuvenate the system. There's a whole system of things to do. Here at the yoga center, we've kept it very alive. For people who lose their loved ones, we do certain processes so that the physical memory is taken away. Once the physical memory is taken away, the psychological suffering can be dealt with by the individual person much more easily. How to perform karmas and kriyas for dead if you are not able to physically do something? The simple thing is to go into a 3-day period of sadhana, because internally you can do this. Beyond a certain age, it is largely for the dead that we are doing it. But there is an element of that, it's not totally gone. Our bodies are never 100% free from the genetic process that we have received from our parentage. There is a way to be above that, but we are not absolutely free. Physical body functions in a certain way. So, just 3 days of withdrawal and a certain type of sadhana, if you don't know anything else, simply just do the Maha Mantra, Om Namah Shivaya intensely for 3 days as much as you can. A minimum of 4.5 hours a day if you do this, you don't have to really bother about that because it's also nice to withdraw, it's a sensitive time, but now deaths and funerals and what happens post-death is all become a social nonsense, that you have to have people at home, you have to serve them drink, you have to serve them food. This… in the Western countries it's become a big thing, even in India, certain kind of thing is building up. It's best that you just withdraw from society and nonsense and spend some private time. When somebody significant in your life passes away, It's important that you withdraw and do something with yourself rather than simply trying to run the social thing like a distraction. The social thing is, people's way of handling their grief is, let's go to the movie, let's read a book, let's watch the television. Don't look for distractions. When there are troubles within us, we must address it head on. Don't look for distractions. Distraction is not a solution. All yogic practices, doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you do asana, yama, niyama, pranayama, asana, whatever, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, shunya, whatever you may be doing, essentially all of it is coming from the fundamentals of bhuta shuddhi, or cleansing the elements, or if you cannot cleanse, if you're such a hopeless case, transcending the elements. Vibhuti, that's why. Beyond the elements. If you cleanse the elements, you will live a wonderful life. If you're beyond that, the best thing is to transcend. Forget about living a beautiful life, just transcend the life. Because living a beautiful life is a more complex situation than transcending. Transcending means you're beyond it. What's beyond is not bothered by so many complexities of the physicality. But if you want to be in the physical and still above that, then it takes a little more mastery over the physical. If you have no mastery over the physical, you will get enslaved to the physical. So bhuta shuddhi essentially means you want to first cleanse it so that slowly you come to your state which we call as bhuta siddhi. That means you have mastery over the elements. Everybody has some kind of capability with the elements, otherwise you wouldn't even live a normal life. Right now, how well organized the five elements are in your system decides how firm and stable and organically strong this body is. It's just… body is a play of five elements. So is the world, so is the universe. Everything is a play of five elements. In these five, unless you want to explore mystical dimensions, you don't have to bother about the space. So there are only four. Among the four, 72% of your body is just water. Just check and see. You're just a water bottle, 3/4 full, you know. You need to understand, it is in sync with the planet. Approximately 72% of the planet is water. Do you know this? Yes? That is how life has evolved. Whichever way the nature of the planet is manifested in your body in many different ways. So about 2/3 of the planet is water, 2/3 of the body is water. So when you eat food, you must always eat food where the water content in the food is over 70%. This one thing the Western societies are ignoring and paying a huge price. Now everywhere it's becoming like that. If you eat any vegetable, it will be over 70% water. If you eat a fruit, it'll be over 90% water. If you want cleansing to happen, you must eat fruit. If you just want to maintain the body as it is, vegetable does this. Almost any Asian cooking usually has over 70% water naturally. That's how traditions created it, they were aware of it. It's only Western diets which are dry. You drink water, it doesn't work like that. The food should have over 70% water content. So 72% is water, another 12% is earth. Only 12% of your body is actually earth. largely it is water, so that's 84%. Another 6% is air. Air is the easiest thing to manage and take charge of because there is breath and you can take charge of it in a certain way. Another 4% is fire. Taking mastery over fire could do many things to you, but because you are householders living in family situation, you don't have to take charge of fire. You can keep it as it is, sometimes you can burn somebody a bit. You need it, right? You're married. Once in a way, if you don't burn them a bit, it may not work. The remaining 6% is space. You don't have to bother about that unless you want to explore mystical dimensions of the existence. To live well, 4 elements is enough. 5th one is not relevant for people who just want to live well. Taking charge of this, there's a whole system of practices. Some are direct, others are roundabout. Bhuta Shuddhi can be practiced in a most simplistic way or in a highly sophisticated. Taking charge of the elements is in many ways. One thing is how you consume these elements, how you treat these elements. The whole system of ancient cultures were about treating the 4 elements right. The 4 elements are the basis of your creation. If you have even a minor mastery over it, you will start living in ways that other people think is magical. Nothing magical, because right now you drink water. See how it is? Does it look like you? Does it look like you? Does it look like you? Does it resemble any of you? But if you drink this, it becomes you, isn't it? Isn't this magical? This itself, life itself is magical. There's nothing in life which is not magical, isn't it? Just some disease got cured, that is not the miracle. Look at this becomes you. This is a phenomenal miracle, isn't it? Once you're capable of performing this miracle, you should be capable of many other minor things. Fixing an ailment or you damage something, fixing it, all these things should be possible because you're creating the whole body from inside, isn't it? Using the 4 elements, you are creating a whole body. Unfortunately, it's happening unconsciously, that's all. So, bringing consciousness to how these 4 elements are becoming human body. When I say human body, from this water you're manufacturing a highly sophisticated mechanism, isn't it? Yes or no? What this amounts to is, if I just pour this water on the floor, it became iPad. What would you call that? Suppose this glass of water, I poured it down and there this water became iPad. What do you call that? Miracle, isn't it? The same thing, I drink this becomes I. This not a miracle? I was in the same trip I came to Deagle Airport and there was a grumpy-looking security man. He asked, "Any fluids?" I said like this. He got irritated, he looked at me like this. Then he put my bag there, "Computer?" I said like this. He burst out laughing. We are too impressed with what's happening around us. What's happening within us is too big, isn't it? Yes? All computers are a small manifestation of this, isn't it? We are enamored with that, but not enamored with this. That is our problem. So, looking inward itself is Bhuta Shuddhi. If that's not possible for you, there are simple processes. There are practices, there are rituals, there are elaborate systems as to how to take charge of elements. or if you don't know how to do it, somebody can perform something from which everybody can benefit. There are Bhuta Shuddhi rituals. For example, every month there is Panchabhuta Aradhana happening in the Dhyanalinga. You don't know how to do it. Somebody else will do it, you just sit there in the presence and benefit from that.
If you stayed until now, if you paused your day to listen, that already sets you apart from most. Like the video, comment where you're watching from, and check the links in the description. You'll definitely find more content that continues this conversation with you. Thanks, big hug, and see you in the next video.